Hey, Ohio, with mobile sports betting now live, we know it can be a bit overwhelming deciding on which sports book to use. That's why I got to tell you about BetQL. BetQL is your one stop for all things sports betting related, from betting, analytic trends to expert picks. Head on over to BetQL, the app, or betql.com to get informed and get your betting win streak started. Use code OH25 for 25% off your first month. Head to betql.com/news/923thefan for those exclusive sportsbook offers.
He's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. It's always game day in Cleveland. A nice, refreshing 1-0 start for just the third time since 1999. The Browns start the season with a win, just the second time that they've won at home, and it's against Cincinnati to start things off. Daryl, let's get up to speed on Jack Conklin. Bad news for the Browns offensive lineman.
Yeah, Kevin Stefanski alluded to this after the game on Sunday. Monday confirmed it. Worst fears realized. His season is over after an MRI confirmed that he did tear his ACL and his MCL. So he is going to require surgery. And, that's a tough loss. And, not just on the field because he's an all-pro at his position when he is healthy, but behind the scenes. And Kevin Stefanski really went out of his way Monday afternoon to try and articulate just the value that Jack Conklin has behind the scenes. From a roster building standpoint, this is a pretty big blow. Remember, they gave him that big contract extension late last December. It included $30 million in guaranteed. That is being paid this year as well as next year. So for those that are thinking that Jack Conklin's going to retire, well, from a financial standpoint, it behooves him not to. It behooves him to go through this rehab process, not only just as a human being, but as a football player. Probably start next year up on PUP or injured reserve or something like that, so he can collect his remaining guarantees in the contract and then make a decision after 2024 what his long-term future looks like. But from a roster building standpoint, that's a tough one. Certainly, obviously heart goes out to Jack. He's one of the hardest workers you'll find on the team. He's unfortunately battled some injuries here the last couple of years with the Browns. Remember, he came back from an dislocated elbow, and then after missing a couple of games, goes to Baltimore, and he gets hurt and ends up being done for the season there. So it's unfortunate he has to go through another surgery and rehab process here, but that's a pretty big loss on a variety of fronts where the Browns are concerned, losing Jack Conklin for the season.
So Dwan Jones has to step up. Or, Daryl, do you think they're going to go out and maybe try to get – I don't know, it just feels kind of late to go out and try to get some kind of veteran offensive lineman that you could bring in and maybe fill the hole. But I think it's worth giving Jones a shot. And let's not forget, they brought Leatherwood in too. So your thoughts on that?
Well, it is going to go to Dwan Jones. That's who they're going to turn this thing over to, give him an opportunity. And let's be honest about Andy, Dwan held his own.
Yeah, he has all preseason too. He did.
I mean, he wasn't perfect, but he looked pretty good. I mean, Joe Thomas was on Twitter complimenting him on the job he did and his technique and fundamentals and things like that. No, this is Dwan Jones is going to get that opportunity. Quite frankly, I think he deserves the opportunity. He's earned it. I mean, the progress that he has made, the development from the day he walked in the door where he could, I'm not exaggerating, man. Like, the guy needed a bucket after every time he did a rep in a drill during rookie minicamp on that first day. Like, I walked away from that minicamp practice thinking to myself, I'm sure you're a really nice young man, but I don't know that the NFL is for you, dude. And you know what? I could not be happier to be wrong. He has worked his tail off to better condition himself while maintaining his physical stature, right? Because when you think condition, you're like, oh, he's going to drop a bunch of weight and that's what he needs to do. No, he is still a mountain of a man. And it was always in my head that I felt like he should be Jed Wills' replacement if they did not extend Jedrick Wills and give him a second contract. And as we have this conversation right now, I'll be honest with you, if I'm the Browns, I would not give Jedrick Wills a contract extension. I have not seen enough from that dude since he's been here. Again, he's a nice young man. I know the effort is there. I don't agree with the organization as far as where he's at and where he should be at this point in his career. So, but yeah, Dwan's earned the opportunity, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and get that opportunity now.
All right, so let me throw this at you. Alex Leatherwood is on the practice squad. He's a former first round pick out of Alabama from the Raiders picked him first, and
That's
then
elevate him back up. That's how you handle that.
Yeah. So I mean, it actually you look at it now, you're like there, but I think with Leatherwood that I think is important is Bill Callahan, because let's face it, he's on his third team since he got drafted,
Right?
And he needs help, and he's got to figure out how to do this. He can play guard or tackle,
right?
And I think with Bill Callahan that there's an opportunity there for a reclamation project of a former first round pick, or you're always a first round pick.
Yeah. Again, I think the move is you put Conklin on injured reserve, you elevate Leatherwood, you go ahead and you add another guy to the practice squad in his place. I think that's the move. Like, I don't think they need to go out
the natural progression. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they need to sign somebody off the street. I think you want to keep James Hudson on the left side of that line potentially. Because there were some times where I think he had some difficulty on the right side when he did fill in at times. So, yeah, I that's just putting my Andrew Berry hat on to your point about Leatherwood. And that is how, if I were Berry, I would handle that roster maneuvering.
All right. So as we walk past this Cincinnati game, Joe Burrow talked about our defensive backs. That was one of the storylines. And then you kind of have to wonder what Jamar Chase will say next. You tell me, friend.
Well, did you see what he said after the game? He was mad because he called their ass elves and they didn't win. He lost to the elves again. Well, Jamar, you guys are now 2-9 against the elves in the last 9 games, and you're 1-5 in the last 6, or what is it? Maybe 1-6 in the last 7 or something like that. The thing is like calling the Browns elves. Like, do you realize what elves are? Like, elves are not these cute little cartoonish things. Like, elves are real deviant, evil little SOBs. Okay. That's what elves are. They are small. They will bite your ankles. They will pinch you. They will hit you. Like, they're mean. Like that. That's what they are. They're not Santa's elves. They're not these cute little guys wearing green, working in Santa.
I want to be a dentist.
They're not working in Santa's workshop, making the little choo-choo train for you for Christmas and the candy canes and all. No, these guys are mean little buggers. That's what elves are. Go back and look in folklore. Do a little research, Chase. You want nothing to do with elves. Thank you very much. So if you think you're insulting the Browns by calling them elves, think again, because elves are tougher and meaner than you really think that they are. But Joe Burrow tried to like soften things up, right? After all the Chase stuff, he tried to butter the Browns up yesterday by saying that Denzel Ward and MJ Emerson were among the best corners in the National Football League. And MJ on Monday was kind of like, yeah, I appreciate that, but we really don't give a crap what he has to say. I just thought that was so funny. Here's the exact quote, because I don't want to be accused of, shall we say, improperly paraphrasing what Emerson said. But the summation is, thanks, but bleep you. We don't care what you think.
That's awesome.
But here's the actual quote. He said, quote, "I appreciate it. That's always just respect. I appreciate him acknowledging us, but it don't really mean too much. Hey, wink, wink. You're number one."
Yes. Congratulations on being number one.
Enjoy
Daryl, just
on I-71 with your hockey sticks.
Daryl, let me just throw this at you really quick, just because we taped this during Monday Night Football. Did you happen to see the news that just came down 2 seconds ago?
Yeah.
If you did you see it?
It's about it might be about a certain
quarterback
in New York.
Yes. You want me to read it?
Will be devastating. What, the fact that he got carted off the field?
Yes, as he got an ankle injury, he's not going to return to the game against the Bills. Again, we're recording this during Monday Night Football.
Yeah, well, my heart goes out to the Jets.
Wow. That's a game changer. We'll get more info on that.
No,
I want
depending on the severity of that, you're right, it could be, but I'm going to anticipate that it's not going to be a game changer and he'll be back.
Well, not tonight.
No, not tonight. Obviously,
Yeah.
not as we record this podcast. His evening is over, and it really sucks for the ESPN Monday Night Football ratings. Although it was great that they got that whole cable dispute thing solved just in time for Monday Night Football.
Trust in Charter, trust in Spectrum. That's what I say to you. Trust Spectrum.
As a former Packers executive Andrew Brandt likes to say, deadline spur actions. And
well, if you think about it, Daryl, and I'll just say this really quick, the value, like if they were willing to pass on the first game for the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, then the value of the whole deal probably would have fallen apart. So it behooved both sides to get it done during the afternoon. All right, we're going to talk.
Got done was Chris Jones with the Kansas City Chiefs. Got his.
Everything's getting done today.
See, again, Andrew Brandt, NFL genius. Action spur, or I should say deadline spur actions. There you go.
Amen, brother. All right, he's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. More. We'll talk about the running game for the Browns, and we will dip our toes into the situation in Pittsburgh. Yep, all these things coming up on It's Always Game Day in Cleveland.